everyone! Today we're doing another baking video with something a little different. I had done a poll on the Instagram story seeing if I should do cake or bread, and most people voted for cake, and I was going to make a cake. I was going to bake a pretty cake. It was going to be a milk tea and honey cake, and then I realized that I don't have any black tea at all, like not even a substitute for the Irish breakfast or the Assam tea that it called for. And then, because I couldn't make it, I felt bad and sad, and so I decided to make something completely different. It's not bread, it's not cake. We're making Parmesan Rosemary Thyme Scones, which I've never made a scone before, but I mean, it doesn't even rise. It'll be fine. So I have my recipe, I have some stuff set out, and let's get started. So I have my bowl and stuff set up right here. Unfortunately, the way that my cupboards are and everything, it's kind of hard to show you my face and what I'm doing. So I have a bowl, and I'll just kind of say what I'm doing as I go. So I already have my oven preheating to 425 degrees. So in this bowl, I'm going to add flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, salt, half of the cheese, which is going to be the Parmesan. It's supposed to be fresh grated, but it's not. And then also the rosemary and the thyme. I have dried rosemary and thyme instead of fresh, but I do have a rosemary bush, so I might get some sprigs of that for garnish when I'm actually going to bake them. So let's start adding. So the first thing is 3 cups of flour. Just in there. The next thing is a tablespoon of sugar. So first we've got the baking powder, and it says 2.5 teaspoons. So got 1, 2, and a half. And then the baking soda is just half a teaspoon. Okay. Next is the salt, and it's a teaspoon. And next is the half of cup of Parmesan cheese, which is in here. Next is 1.5 teaspoons of thyme. That's not thyme. This is thyme. 1 half. It's also 1.5 teaspoons of rosemary, but it's supposed to be finely chopped. So, a little hack here. Maybe not a hack. It works better when I'm not trying to do it like this, I guess. So I'll just go ahead and chop that. Got 1 of rosemary. We've got some floor rosemary. But luckily some spilled on the counter. I'm just going to scoop that into the bowl. Alright. right, now that we have sort of cleaned up the rosemary, what's next? Uh, oh, I'm whisking this together. All right, we can do that. Okay, so we'll whisk everything together. All right, that's all whisked together. So next we're going to add in cold butter and then use a pastry blender to cut it in. Scones are another one of those types of bread that you have to use the cold butter to make it turn out like kind of that right texture and flakiness. So for the butter, 12 tablespoons, which a stick is 8 tablespoons. So I'm just going to cut this and then get this, I'm going to cut it into pieces and then we can get it in here and I'll show you the pastry cutter. So let's see. Okay, so I have my 12 tablespoons of butter, which is a stick and a half, and I've kind of cubed and cut it up into be smaller. And then this is my pastry cutter. Dough blender. I don't even remember where I got this. Chromium plated dough blender to blend flour with shortening. Literally specifically made for that. But anyway, it's pretty nice. So I'm just going to be adding the butter in a little bit at a time, and then I'm going to be cutting it in. It says pastry blender to cut the butter into the dry ingredients until it resembles coarse cornmeal. So we're going to go for that. Man, I'm really, really disappointed about losing all my gains at the gym because that was a workout. So we have our cornmeal-ish stuff, and we're going to add buttermilk and olive oil. So I never buy actual buttermilk. I just do the whole milk mixed with lemon juice type thing. So, bloop. And then, so olive oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to do 1. Because for this recipe, the olive oil is actually not required. The author of the recipe said that they use a combination of wheat and almond flour for these, and then they also add extra olive oil. So, but I'm going to do 1 and see how that is, and then I have my spatula. I have my spatula here, and I'm just going to mix it until it forms an incorporated dough. So I might have to add more olive oil, depending on how it looks. Okay, so they're just combined, and now we are going to knead the dough, basically. Yeah, just get in there. Okay, actually no, it turns out fine. So we're going to divide the dough in half and then flatten each half into 2 discs. So 4 inches, 4 of them total. Divide the dough in half and flatten each half, into this. Okay, so 2 discs, and then they're going to be cut into 6 wedges. Gotcha. So I've got my 2 halves, and I'm flattening it into a circle, a disc. 7 inches in diameter. I can feel I've been working it a lot because it's starting to get wet. Alright, I think I did the best that I could. I would show you, but it's gross. But I'll cut it into wedges and I'll show you the wedge. One sec. Okay, so I'm just going to cut them into 6 pieces, 6 wedges. Okay, now that they're cut into the wedges, I'm going to put them on a baking sheet, brush them with melted butter, and then add more Parmesan and a little bit of fresh rosemary on top. So let me get that set up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I've got my melted butter, I've got my cheese, and I went ahead and picked and washed and dried some rosemary from the garden. It smells really good. So, I don't have a baster, so I'm just going to use a spoon to kind of gently put some on there and then kind of just rub it around the top. It's funny, you wanted a whole 1/4 of a cup to be sprinkled on top, but I feel like that's going to be a lot. So either these are way smaller than they should be, or it's because it's supposed to be, like grated cheese, so it would, in theory, take up more space than this only the best Parmesan grated cheese from Winco. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to pick a sprig to the top of each one. You know what? 2. I'll do an X. Get fancy. Alright, so this is what they look like before they go in the oven. There's 2 trays, and then they bake for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're golden brown, and then we'll see what they look like. So stay tuned. Okay, they actually turned out kind of amazingly. So let me grab another. Okay, so let me show you. Look at that. They're like golden brown. They're beautiful. There were 2 trays. Those ones were the little bit bigger ones. These ones were the ones that were a little bit smaller. They got a little bit more brown. So they smell really good. So I can't wait for them to cool down a little bit so I can try them. I still have some Parmesan and melted butter, so I might just like dip. I guess I could take these off. Anyway. Yeah, so this was a Parmesan Rosemary Thyme Scone. Did find it on Pintrest, I think. I don't know. I'll put the recipe down below in case you guys want to try it out. Hopefully I can find it to copy and paste it. Otherwise I'm going to have to type it out because I was following it like on paper. I hope you guys enjoyed being around. I do upload a lot of video game and baking related videos, and I'm going to be kind of just trying different things out and seeing what I like to upload. I do live stream. I was trying to do it every night, but it might start being like every other night just because it's a lot. Just like I was uploading a video every morning, but I might switch it to be 2 times a week just because I do want to get better at recording and editing videos for you guys and for myself because it's something that I've been wanting to learn. And I feel like recording a video and then having to edit it in the same day to have it up the next day, it's just kind of getting a lot when I'm trying to learn as well. So I feel like some of the stuff that I've been putting out hasn't been the quality that I want just because I'm like giving myself unrealistic deadlines. So stupid of me, but whatever. We'll figure it out, and then hopefully you guys enjoy what I'm putting out. So if you do, subscribe to see what else comes along. Give me a like to help with the algorithm. Leave me a comment if you guys have tried this recipe or if you're going to try this recipe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!